Good afternoon, McFatter Technical High School students and parents. It is Thursday, December 3rd. I am Jeanette Johnson, your director and principal here at McFatter Technical College and Technical High School. It's great to welcome you back after everyone had a nice long week off. Here with me, as always, are the assistant director in charge of the high school, Mr. Daryl Harris.
Hello there. Hi.
And our magnet coordinator, Miss Lily DeCastro.
Hi.
And I hope you two had a wonderful Thanksgiving week as well.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Ate too much?
Yes.
No.
And slept a lot?
Yes.
So we hope you all had a wonderful week, enjoyed the week off and time with family and time to recharge. And now we are in the home stretch, believe it or not, of the first semester with just a couple of weeks to go. So we have a lot of information we wanted to give you this week. And we wanted to start out first and foremost with a change in requirements to be counted in attendance for all K-12 students. And this is based on a change in policy that the school board made right before we went out for Thanksgiving break. So to tell us about that change and what it means for our students, Mr. Harris, take it over.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson, and hello again, everyone. As you know, all of you know, students, parents, attendance is very important to your success. And more than anything, just having honest and authentic engagement in that attendance process really helps students achieve. And based on feedback from parents as well as the district, they have changed the attendance policy, as Ms. Johnson mentioned, or updated it rather, that cameras will be required to be turned on during attendance. And there's a couple of distinctions I want to make sure that each of you understand. Especially during attendance. When your teacher's taking attendance, your camera needs to be turned on. Also, when the teacher is providing specific instruction for you. Now, most of your classes are an hour and a half long. So teachers aren't traditionally talking for an hour and a half, so your camera won't be on for an hour and a half at one time. But if the teacher is actually giving specific instruction where she's engaging with you, your camera needs to be on. At the beginning of class, attendance being taken, your camera needs to be on so we can actually have some engagement and identify that you are there. And your teachers probably will work out something with you, and we've discussed this offline as well, is options with changing your backgrounds and other things so you feel comfortable when you're taking attendance. So basically, they just need to see your face more than anything, and that's something we'll make sure we work out. So if you have any concerns, if there's some issues with you having your camera on, if there's a technology issue, anything at all, please reach out to your teacher. You don't have to say that right in the class, but you can send your teacher a message. You can reach out to your counselor and let them know if you're having an issue at all with having your camera on, because we want to support you, but we know that your attendance is really critical to your success, and also having some honest and authentic engagement with you. So please, this is going to be a little different for all of you, but let's make it happen so we can continue to grow and learn together. And that's the biggest change that we have.
And I want to emphasize as well, because it is now required, you could have a student who shows up for class, but if they don't follow this process, they will get marked absent from the class.
Correct. And
Okay.
then there will be a call coming to the parent as if you were actually marked absent.
Which is also why it's really important if we do have a student who has what they feel is an extenuating circumstance or a technology issue, we need to know that so we can try to work with you and work it out. So definitely don't stay quiet if you have those concerns. And then I wanted to clarify as a for instance, so you mentioned that the policy applies, you must have your camera on during attendance and while the teacher's providing instruction. So an example of a time when you wouldn't need your camera on is the teacher gives a lesson and then allows the student to work independently for, let's say, 20 minutes on something. During that 20 minutes, the student would be able to turn their camera off, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
And we're also working with our teachers to make sure that they are very clear with you as well. When, hey, you can turn your cameras off at this time, and because you don't need to keep it on. So
that's a good point too. It's not going to be a gotcha. The teachers will let you know when it's okay to have your cameras off and not make you have to try to guess.
Absolutely.
Okay. So thank you for that. And that's effective immediately. So the teachers have already started that process this week. They are reminding students to turn their cameras on. Students do get one reminder, but then if they still do not comply, they will wind up being marked absent by the teacher. So parents, help make sure your sons and daughters know this so that we can make sure everyone gets counted in attendance. And I want to reinforce again what Mr. Harris said. The main reason for doing this, and the reason so many parents and students in response to the survey, everyone everyone was invited to do an attendance survey, and it was that survey result that led to the board making this change. The whole purpose of this is trying to make the online learning experience more engaging for students. And we know when you see people's faces, the engagement level just drives way up. We see that every time we have a staff meeting with the staff turning their cameras on. So it's very important. So we mentioned that we're in the home stretch now for the first semester. So we also have information for all of you. Let's talk first about EOCs, the state administered end of course exams, as well as the course exams that are being given by the teachers, as well as the exam exemption policy. So Mr. Castro, if you could explain a little bit about the schedule and how we're working moving forward the next couple of weeks with EOCs and teacher-made final exams.
Okay, first of all, with the EOCs, all students who are taking biology, geometry, or U.S. history honors right now should be scheduled to take an EOC. There was a survey that was sent out, and if your student has not secured a date to take the test, because there are a few choices there, it's not all on the same day, you need to reach out to the counselor because they have built a schedule for that. So in order for a student to receive credit for those 3 classes, they must have taken an EOC. So if they do not actually sit for the test now, there will be an opportunity later to take the test, but they won't receive credit until that test is taken. So everyone should have a scheduled date, and if you're not sure, please reach out to the grade level counselor for their EOC test. The next thing is next week, I will be emailing probably on Monday or Tuesday all the students with the directions on the end of course the course exams for finals, their exam exemptions. All of these courses, I get confused, I apologize. So for exam exemptions.
Clarify there, because the terminology, I caught myself too. When we talk about EOCs, those are state administered standardized exams, which are different from the teacher-made final exams that now you're starting to talk about.
Correct. So the end of course exams are the ones you must take to get credit. The final exams are for all courses that do not have end of course exams. So you either take one or the other, you don't take both. But all of those courses, you can exempt up to 50% of your classes, not tech classes and not end of course exam, because that has already been taken. And the directions will be emailed to the students, and like I did last semester, afterwards I will send the same email to the parents so that they are aware of the specifics on that. Too complicated for this video today, but what they need to know is that they need to look for the the email for the exam exemption, and I will send that out next week. It is a time sensitive piece of information because the teachers have to notify us what students are exempting, what courses are being exempted. So the teachers will have to have that finished by next Friday because exams start the week after on the 15th. So final exams for first period classes are on December 15th, second period December 16th, third period December 17th, and fourth period will be on December 18th. And all 4 days school will be out at 12:15. So whether a student is on campus and has to get home or at home, they will be done working at 12:15 on those days, and they will only attend that one class each day for finals.
So they're in the one class, again, whether they're at home or on campus, they're only attending one class a day for that whole time, and it's based upon the period exam schedule that you just gave.
Correct.
Okay. And it's really important, as you know, we are now 2 weeks away from that, which also means if your grades in class aren't where you want them to be, the next week and a half, you really need to be working as hard as you can to get those grades up and get them where you want them to be. We know this has been such a challenging semester for so many people. It's not been an ideal situation for anyone. Now's the time to finish strong, for sure.
Correct. And in this 9-week period, they're earning the second half of a credit. So in our school, every 9 weeks, they are earning credit. It's not the 2 grades are combined. It's what they're doing right now in focus matters very much. So if you're stuck and you need help, please reach out to your grade level counselor again and your teachers to get help to bring those grades to where they need to be, because in order to exempt an exam, you must have at least a B in that class.
So that's the exam part of wrapping up the first semester. The other piece of wrapping up the first semester is returning your textbooks for those students who have textbooks for their various classes. Obviously, our students who are learning here on campus will simply turn the textbooks in that last week before winter break, but we have a schedule for textbook drop off for the students who are currently learning remotely. And we, again, I know Ms. DeCastro has that schedule as well.
Yes. So on December 18th from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., because we get out of school at 12:15, we will be accepting textbooks from all students who are done with courses. So generally the tech program, students will retain those books. But for any academic classes, we really need those textbooks on December 18th from 1 to 4, or on Saturday, December 19th from 8 to 12. And I know it's just a couple of days. We really need the books to get them disinfected, ready to roll, because we have to follow CDC guidelines. So we do have to go through the process to be able to redistribute them in January when we return.
And that's why we're collecting them before winter break as well. And you mentioned the two time frames. Unlike and laptop pickup, we are not dividing it out by grade levels.
We'll just take them.
Because this is literally going to be, you just drive through, open your window, hand over your books, and you keep going.
Yes.
We were joking before this that we could literally just have them slow down, open the windows and open their car window and throw them out. It should be a very quick process, and we're not separating it out by grade level. So students can come at any time during the either 18th from 1 to 4 or the 19th from 8 to noon. And as well, since it is just a pickup, there's no drop off. Parents, if the student can't come, a parent can bring the book by, an older sibling, a friend of the family. There won't be any identification that needs to be shown because you're literally just returning textbooks. You're not returning laptops, you're holding on to those. Okay. And then we'll have a little more information either next week or the following week about what we'll be doing in January. Keep in mind, when we first come back in January, that first week is still part of this semester. Now, the school board is having students take their exams before they go home from winter break, so you don't need to think about it, but you will still have one more week of your current classes when we come back from winter break. It's just the teachers know that, and they'll be developing lessons that have nothing to do with needing the textbook, and that's why we're able to go ahead and collect the textbooks now.
And Ms. Johnson, I just wanted to also add to that, when you return the textbooks, and just all the textbooks have a barcode inside them, so we'll scan those in later. So that's why you can just drop them off. No need to worry. Those books will be removed from your student's account once we receive those textbooks. So that's why anyone can drop the book off. It would not be a problem, and we'll just take that book out of your student's account and get ready for the new one.
Absolutely. Talking about next year, but now I mean next school year. I know Mr. Castro wanted to give an update as well on the magnet application process, because that window has opened. So Mr. Castro, what can you tell us about that?
Yes, thank you. We have been diligent working with all the middle schools. So in the next 2 weeks and then the month of January, I'm holding Teams live events at the various middle schools with the other magnet coordinators in Broward County Public Schools. But right now, the window is open to apply to any magnet program, reassignment school, or NOVA. The only application that you will find our school name on, though, is the magnet application. Sometimes parents will try to do a reassignment application to us, and we don't take reassignments. So the website is browardschools.com/school choice. So that is also going to be found on the front of our webpage, as well as the information on our Giving Tuesday event. Ms. Johnson, I'll let you talk about that.
And before we get that, the deadline again for applying?
It's February 8th.
February 8th. So there's still plenty of time. And as we've said before, it's not a priority based on how early you apply, as long as you apply by the deadline.
And have all of your information into the record.
By the deadline. Good point. Okay. And so, yes, so
Yep.
as we talk about Giving Tuesday and the information that's on our webpage, the last thing we wanted to mention, many of our parents who've had students come through who've already graduated know that the 3 technical colleges and technical high schools, Atlantic, McFatter, and Sheridan, years ago formed a scholarship foundation that raises funds solely to go to the benefit of our students, both our adult students, helping them to fund their tuition that they pay here to attend the technical college. And then a large number of scholarship awards are given out every spring to our graduating high school seniors, to many of our graduating high school seniors, to help them as they move on to other post-secondary education. And again, those of you who've been with us for many years may know that historically, the largest way that we funded that scholarship foundation, we always did an annual food and wine event. It was, since it was sponsored by a nonprofit foundation, it was allowed to have wine. It was done off campus after hours. And we always had great attendance, lots of great support from our community. And that raised a lot of money to help fund those scholarships. This year, there is no such event. And ironically, the decision was made even pre-COVID because there had become so many similar competing events going on. But with COVID especially, even if we had planned to do it, we'd be looking at alternatives. And so one of the opportunities for people to contribute to the Scholarship Foundation is currently going on right now. And it's part of the Giving Tuesday initiative. You've all heard of Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving when people go shopping. And then the Monday after Thanksgiving is historically called Cyber Monday because it's the day that so many people do a lot of their online shopping. Well, Tuesday after Thanksgiving, so 2 days ago, has become known as Giving Tuesday. And it becomes an opportunity after buying things for gifts, it becomes an opportunity for people to give to charitable causes of interest to them. And so this year, the Broward Technical College's foundation is participating in Giving Tuesday. And the event, obviously, it started on Tuesday and it goes till December 7th. And it's just an opportunity for people to make donations to the Scholarship Foundation if they so choose. The thing we're really proud of with this foundation is there's no overhead cost. So literally every single penny that's given goes directly to student scholarships. And there are very few charitable organizations that can say 100% of the donations go directly to the cause they're intended to support. There's literally no overhead for this. So we wanted to mention it to you. No donation is too small. You can literally give just $1 if you like. The way to do that is via a website. And the link to that is found on the homepage of our McFatter Technical High School homepage. If you do decide to give, you'll see when you click through that you pick the amount you want to give. You can decide whether to give anonymously or whether you'd like your name mentioned on the Giving Donors page. And you also have an option to either have your amount go to the overall Broward Technical College's foundation, in which case your donation would be split 3 ways between Atlantic, McFatter, and Sheridan, or you can specify one specific school to give to. So for example, when I made my donation on Tuesday, I of course specifically picked McFatter because I want every penny that I gave to go to McFatter. But you can, if you have people that you are trying to support at the other schools, you can have it go among other schools as well. So again, if you are so inclined, if you have the dollars to spare and you would like to give anything, please go to that. We do appreciate it. And again, it goes back directly to support our students every single year. I think that's all we wanted to talk about. Mr. Harris, Mr. Castro, did we have anything we missed?
Just remind the students, let's finish strong. We get to start over in 2021. So let's finish 2020 strong in our academics and our tech programs.
Let's also just finish 2020 at this point.
Absolutely.
I think we can all agree to that for sure. Okay, so with that, we will sign off for this week. We will be back in touch with you next week on Thursday as well. Meantime, everyone finish Friday strong and have a great weekend. Goodbye, you two.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.